our ingredients for making pork sisig today is lemongrass, bay leaves, black peppercorn, garlic, a little bit of salt, and we're going to add that to our pot of boiling water. And today we are using pork jowl and pork belly. So usually some people would add in pork ears, but I couldn't find pork ears, so today that's what we're using. So we're just waiting for the water to boil, and then we will add all the ingredients. So in goes the garlic, our bay leaves, the black peppercorn, some salt. I want to be generous with the salt because when you make the pork sisig, it's all flavored already. Your meat is flavored, and we're gonna put our lemongrass. So I just smashed that bottom part of the lemongrass to release the flavors, and we're gonna put that all in there. We're gonna wait for that to simmer a little bit, and then we're gonna add our pork belly and pork jowl. All right, in goes our pork belly, and in goes our pork jowl. So it's been 30 minutes, and as you can see, I have it on a simmer, and I'm just checking right now for the doneness, and obviously it's still not done enough. The skin is still a little bit firm, and the meat, we want the meat to be softer than what I have it for right now. So we'll let this go for another 30 minutes. So now my pork is ready. As you can see, it's the skin is very fork tender, and if I turn this around, that meat is very tender as well. So I'm gonna put this our pieces of pork on a plate, and we will let the skin dry off a little bit, so when we start frying them, it won't splatter oil everywhere. So while I'm waiting for this to cool and dry off, what I like to do is to just give them a couple of pokes. I will be putting salt when it's a bit cool, and that helps penetrate the meat part here with a little bit of seasoning. So that's what we're doing right now, is just give them a couple of pokes, and then we'll rub them in salt after. Okay, so let's rub our pork belly and pork jowl with some salt. Okay, so my pork jowl and belly has cooled down, and I'm gonna start frying them. I got my oil all heated up, and you know what? The thing is, you gotta be kind of quick with this, so So I can hear that our pork has quieted down, and so now we're gonna flip it. Gently, and as you can see, the skin is now has formed the crust, so you flip that over, and we cook. You wait for the other side to cook as well. Our pork jowl. Beautiful. So you see here our skin, it just needs a little bit of air to actually dry that skin, but it's very crisp. Great, we'll let that cool for a bit while we're waiting for our lechon kawali. It's very crisp. I'm just gonna let that cool down and wait for our lechon kawali, which is still frying right now. And yeah, we'll let them cool and then we'll start chopping. Ready and crisp. And as well as my pork jowl. And we're just gonna take a portion that we're gonna be cooking today. So we'll cut that up and put it away. And all right, so beautiful, beautiful crisp skin. So we'll start by cutting them as small as we can. And we're gonna put them in a bowl. And I do need red onion as well, so we'll just use half of that. So we'll start chopping this up. Okay. I like red onion. Red onion to me tastes so much sweeter than having the outright oniony taste of a white onion. So mind your fingers and make sure you get the onion a good rough chop. Like I said, like this is a dish that we will be cooking out again, so it needs to be bite-sized pieces, not humongous ones. So get a little bit more. And also we're gonna chop up some garlic here and then put your onions with your pork. Onions are great, and we'll cook them to a point where it's just crisp or still kind of tender inside. 2 cloves of garlic, and give that a chop as well. All right, good enough. And I also have a jalapeno pepper. Put that in, maybe not so much the seeds, because some people don't like too much spicy flavor in this, but I mean the jalapeno does add a whole lot of like a different level of spice. It just tastes better with a little bit of a fresh green pepper in there. Okay. So I am actually making another batch of asado. I did a video the other day and my daughter seemed to love it, and so she ate most of the asado that I had, and I was gonna make a different video. So we're just gonna dice this. Bite-sized pieces again. Now without the seeds, it's not so much spicy, but just that freshness of having a jalapeno in your dish. Perfect. And of course a little bit of green onion will also give it a good flavor in there. So just chop it up, and we'll leave some for decoration later. So I don't have a sizzling plate, but we're gonna use since I don't have a sizzling plate, we are using a cast iron pan to cook our sisig, and we're just gonna start heating it up, and then we'll season our sisig first while doing so. Okay, so we'll just have that on low, and we'll put a little bit of oil in there, and we will just spread that oil around a bit. So while doing that, we'll wait for that, and then we will need, first off, some Philippine soy sauce. Can't do without Philippine soy sauce with this dish. I think it's just vital to have that kind of like a homey taste. So I bet you every Filipino household has a favorite soy sauce. Could be your Silver Swan or your Dato Puti. So to this we'll add maybe about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Okay. Some calamansi, which is our choice of sour fruit to put in here. Now you can use lemon and limes, but I just find that calamansi has a little bit of a sweet taste, and like it's familiar, right? So that's why I want to use it. It's familiar. Yes, the seeds can go in there eventually. You know, you'll be able to it'll cook out, or you can spit it out as you're eating it. So I've put in 2 calamansi. Now with this as well, I want to put just a tad bit of sugar, just, you know, whatever heat we have from the spices. Since we're still adding a little bit of sriracha in it, it'll counteract it by, you know, giving it a little bit of sweetness. And say, depends on how much spicy you want it, but I'll do a tablespoon of sriracha. And you also need a little bit of mayo. Oh, oh dear. So 2 tablespoons of mayo. Yes, some people cringe probably because, I mean, you know, pork mayo on a sizzling plate doesn't sound too good, but believe me, it works. So we'll give that a good mix, and it smells wonderful. If you can see that, but it's all chopped up, getting seasoned. So we'll just keep mixing that. And lastly, with this dish, I want to add a little bit of Maggi seasoning. Alright? It gives this different, like almost like a smoky flavor to it. Alright, so I think our plate, our cast iron pan here is quite hot. And we want to get our egg ready. Just 1 egg is good. All right, hot plate, Sisig on. You gotta put a little bit of a well in the middle for our egg, and like just like that, it smells wonderfully amazing in here. So I want to get that a little hotter. They kind of lower down the heat a little bit there, but if you can see, it's actually sizzling in there with the oil that's coming out of our pork jowl and the belly. So we'll keep on pushing that and put an egg in the middle, a well, and put your egg in there. And your final touches of green onion. Perfect. All right, so this is ready. And if you want, you can slowly break that egg in the middle and start tossing the pieces around. Yum, right? It's so fragrant. The chilies and your pork belly is all getting toasted in there again. And that's it. Pork sisig. Enjoy!